you have any cell phones, iPads, or anything that could so please help me welcome up Andy Helzer.
Everybody doing? How many Packer fans we got in the house? Go Pack Go! How many fans do we have that of anybody who plays the Packers this weekend? All right, got you. So, thank you, Alex, for the intro. I am Andy Helzer, my wife Maureen, and we have 4 kids. Like Alex said, I've got a 15-year-old, I've got a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old, all boys. Then I have a 3-year-old little girl who runs our home. And I have a background as an accountant, CPA, master's in finance. I grew up with the mindset of go to school, get good grades, work hard. 40 years, you can retire. My wife, on the other hand, she had a couple years at college, and they didn't go so well. They were a lot of fun, but they didn't exactly equate to a long-term opportunity for her. Her parents took her out of it because they were paying the bill, and she was having more fun than she was going to class. So she has a background in hotel management. She worked her way up very well financially and successfully in that endeavor with no degree, being a woman, that kind of stuff. And she walked away from her corporate career at the age of 28. And that's when we had our first son. And she's been home free for the last 15 plus years. She's raised 4 kids. She's had to deal with me. So she does a lot. So when I say she stays home, she just got 2 emails today from people like, hey, will you run the youth football program next year from a communication standpoint? I said, say no. And so, she's constantly being asked to do things. She's the team mom on the basketball team right now for the program my son plays on. She's the busiest person without a job I've ever met. How many people would love to not have to go to work and just be able to control your time and decide what you want to do each and every day? That's the idea. And so that's what my wife has been afforded for the 15 years. About 2 years ago, 2 years in May, I walked away from my corporate career. I still work a little bit. I volunteer my time. I should do the paycheck I get. It's definitely volunteering. Up at the go to school. It's a private Christian school, but I teach strength and conditioning. I don't know why, because the only conditioning I've been getting into over the holidays is one where I've been growing this way. I don't know how seriously they take me, but that's kind of what we do, and we just have fun because I chose a couple years ago that I want to spend more time with my kids than I do with my boss. Does that make sense? And so what I'm here to talk to you tonight about tonight is just an opportunity. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's been around for about 60 years. It's worked very, very well for a number of people. In fact, the opportunity has created more multimillionaires than any other opportunity on the planet. It's not a guarantee. You're gonna have to work. It's not gonna come without hard work or effort. And I'm just gonna kind of break down some of the concepts for you. So if you're out for the first time, I see there's a couple new faces. I know there's 3 or 4 people out on the webcast right now as well. My role tonight is not to convince you of an idea. It's to basically share with you a couple of concepts of what we're doing. If you like what we see, then we'll go through to the next step. Is that fair? So you can kind of relax and chill. So the reason we are out tonight, hang on, bam. Is that you or me? Let me try one more time. There we go. I got it now. Perfect. We're good. So I don't know what brought you out, but let me kind of just quick kind of tell you my how I got into it a handful of years ago. Is that going in and out? So I don't know if you want to fix it because can they only hear on the webcast from this? I'm good now. Should I stay over here? So basically about 10 years ago, here's where I was at. I was 33 years old. I had 2 kids at the time. My wife was staying at home and money got tight. And so I started looking for some opportunities. I didn't know what I was looking for. I tried real estate. It's sexy, it's glamorous, it's also very expensive and risky. I dabbled in that, I lost money there. So I decided to stop dabbling. I've decided that I was going to try a couple of startups. I wrote business plans. I got things up off the ground to a certain point. I lost money there. And the reason I did was because, number one, I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I was ambitious. And number two, I didn't have enough capital or money to take it from where I was at to actually get it to a point where it's actually going to create a significant income. So I was in a spot where I was looking for something. So my father-in-law, his name is John, my wife's dad, he owned a traditional business. He owned a factory. He owned it for like 30 years. Did very, very well for himself. $250,000 a year income back in the 80s and early 90s. That'd be like a billion today or something with the price of inflation and stuff. But he did very well. But the problem was, since he owned a traditional business, he didn't have a whole lot of time. He was working 6.5 days a week. And in 1987, he took a look at this exact concept. And by 1999, about 12 years later, he had created an ongoing type income long term that he could sell the factory and walk away and become financially independent at the age of 48. He's now 70, going to be 71 this year, and he hasn't worked a job in over 23 years. And, today it's a good thing because he's got some health challenges, and I think it's from all those years in the factory around those chemicals. But the point is, he created something on the side, and then he built it over a 10, 12-year time frame. So I'm going to talk about tonight's not get rich quick. It's going to take time, and he walked away. When I got into my spot, I said to my wife, I think you're going to have to go back to work. And she said, I think we need to talk to my dad. And so we did, because you always listen to your wife, right? If you don't want to fight, you do. And so I sat down with John, we started chatting, and he said, Andy, you're either going to work for money or money's going to work for you. He said, Andy, the wealthiest people I know have 3 or 4 or 5 sources of income outside of what they do full time. He said, the way to create long-term financial success is to build something from the ground up and have it produce income. Now, I had no idea what he was talking about. So what he did was he started mentoring me. So a little bit of what I'm going to talk about tonight is also going to come along with a business team or a mentorship opportunity where you can not just learn about business, but you can learn about relationships, people skills, and a lot of other financial aspects of life because of what people have done. The people who went before me did certain things so they could teach me those things. So like financial independence, how to pay off debt, how to be smart with my money. Does that make sense? And so there's an aspect to that, and that's what he started doing for me. So my question is, why are you here tonight? What from you weren't going up and down 94 tonight, just be like, oh, I'm going to go to the water park and get some information on a business idea, right? You had to be invited out. You were asked. So if you're on the webcast, you're sitting there with a notepad, hopefully in front of you. You're going to take some notes on what we're doing. But why? Why are you going to spend an hour of your time learning about something? See, for me, it was because I needed about $1,000 to $1,200 a month extra on the side. And I didn't have the time in the day to go get a second job. And my wife and I did not want her to necessarily have to go back full time, but we didn't have many other options. See, when you grow up in a family or an environment where all you're doing is sell time for money, right? What other option is there? You get a job or I'll get a job. If we want to double our income, we'll both get a job, right? And see, that's where I came from. So what I was looking for was a way to create about $1,000 to $1,200 a month outside of what I was doing. Here's why. Because it wasn't about the money. It's that I wouldn't have to put my kids in daycare. And my wife could stay home, and we could have kid number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could be the Segura clan pretty soon. You know, like that's what we strive to be over time. You know, and so that's kind of where we were. So what is it for you? As I go through this, that's what's going to allow you to either be a red light or a green light. And at the end of the night, the only question I'm going to ask you is, are you open to more info, or is it maybe not for you? The only thing you're going to commit to tonight is setting up a time, date, location to get back together and get some more info. But if it's not for you, that's cool too. We're cool. We're good, right? But it's going to be an opportunity, okay? So why are you here? Well, you're here to figure out what it is you might be participating in if you qualify. But more importantly, you're in the process of being interviewed. As much as you're checking me out, checking us out, we wanted to see who was going to kind of go through our process as well. We wanted to see who was going to be able to take some information and walk through an interview process. You're not going to be offered anything tonight other than more information. So you can't get started. You can't do what we do. This is just an opportunity to invest a business model with no pressure. You're just checking it out. You're going to see how it goes. You're going to see if this is going to be a good fit for what you're doing. Okay? Number 4, I'm not here to get you. I'm not here to sign you up. I'm not here to try to do it. Okay? And we're just going to ask. You may or may. That's okay. My goal is not to get you to like me. It's to tell you about what we're doing. So if you drive a Toyota Prius, if you like to vacation in the Dells, if you like Illinois politics, I'm probably going to be offensive. Because I don't like any of those 3 things at all. Is that okay? So if we're cool with that, then I'll kind of jump into what we're doing. So this is my crew. This is my family. This is my wife, my 4 kids, Jack, Gabe, Grant, and Quinn. The reason I'm here tonight, my oldest, he's 15. He's a freshman. He plays varsity basketball. He's got a game tonight. It's going on right now. It just tipped off at 8 o'clock. As I walked up to grab the microphone, he tipped off a basketball. Why am I not there? Well, because as the quote says, there are things in life you will do that are inconvenient. It's inconvenient for me to be here. I'd rather be there. But the reason I'm here is because I want to build a long-term, stable business that if anything ever happened to me, there'd be something left behind for my wife and kids. So the inconvenience sometimes isn't that important when you know what you're trying to accomplish, right? And so the whole reason I'm here tonight is because of these 5 people. There's no other reason. Like, I don't know, how many people have kids? Do anything for your kids, wouldn't you? That's how I feel. And so what I want to do, I've never heard the word legacy. That's where you leave something behind of significance. You leave a family name. You leave some asset. You leave kind of a purpose or a mission, right? And that's what I'm all about. That's why I do what I do, because as I've gotten started in business, I've had to realize that what the world sometimes thinks is super important maybe isn't all that important. Does that make sense? My wife can be there. She's been financially independent for 15 years through the opportunity. So God bless her. She can take all the pictures she wants. I'll catch it on the YouTube video later on. And I'll tell him how good or bad he did. Because that's a dad's role too, right? Like you gotta coach him. See, the dad knows more than the coach does. Any dads know what I'm talking about, right? So, who we're looking for tonight? We're looking for people who are hungry, who are humble, who have heart, who have a little bit of work ethic or a hustle. What that means is we're looking for somebody that's more than just, I want to get rich. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick idea, that's not what this is. If you're looking for something that you can spend time and effort building over the next 12 months, 24 months, 5 years, 7 years, there might be an opportunity here. Because the income I'm going to show you tonight, first 3 or 4 months might only be a couple $100. That's not really motivating all the time. It's better than a stick in the eye, right? But where the value is it's long-term. So what this is a long-term idea. It's an opportunity to create some ongoing style income, Okay? So you've got to be willing to do more than just make money. All right? So let me jump in. So kind of here's what my father-in-law taught me. Here's what John told me. He said, I'd never heard this before my entire life. And he said, Andy, it's two different ways to make money. There's active income and there's ongoing income. He said, active income is where you sell your time for money. He said, when you work a job, you have to sell 8 hours a day and you get a paycheck, only 8 of them. Right? Because when you're on salary, he said you might work 9, 10, 11 hours, but they're only going to pay you for the 8. How they get you. And so many people say, I'd rather have salary because it's so predictable and consistent. No, it means you're underpaid for the amount of hours you're going to be there. Is that fair? They tell you in the hire letter, it's 40 plus. It didn't say week. And for money, my father-in-law did. He owned his own job. He didn't necessarily have a boss. He owned the real estate, he owned the property, he owned the building. But if he wasn't there working every day, all day, he wasn't going to be making any money. And so on this side of the quadrant is about 90% of the people, but it's only 10% of the wealth in America. This is why people are frustrated, right? You know people right now, well, they talk about it every day on Facebook and everything else, about their frustrations, about what's going on in the government, what's going on in America. The reason is because 90% of the people are making money over here, and about 85% of those 90 are doing it by working a job for somebody else. That can be very frustrating. That's where I was at. I made $110,000 a year, but what I didn't realize was I was going to get taxed at 40%. And then I had to pay my student loan, and my credit card bill, and my truck payment, and my mortgage, and then try to survive on $4,800 a month. Right? I mean, you take $2,000 out for a mortgage and taxes, you take out a couple $100 for a car payment, a couple $100 for some student loan. There's not a whole lot left over. I haven't even put gas in the car. I haven't even paid the phone bill. Now I've got 5 kids. My wife and I, there's 6 of us. My God, the cell phone bill is like a mortgage. For real? How many people have more than 2 phones on the line? You have 3 to 4 numbers. It is ridiculous. You're talking about $400 or $500. You're talking about $400 or $500 a month in a payment. Come on, it's like a car payment. That was like more than my first rent in my first apartment in college. And this stupid thing doesn't even do anything. I guess it does everything, but it even knows what ads I like. Siri knows everything. I heard something the other day. This has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about tonight. But I heard that literally 71% of all internet searches are going to be verbal. Hey Siri, hey Alexa, by the year 2021. Is that crazy? People are so lazy they can't even type into Google, how to apply party makeup. You gotta yell, hey Siri! I said, Siri! Hey Siri! 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 Anyways, the other way to create income is to create ongoing income. This is where, you're either an investor or you're an actor or you're an athlete. I just saw some guy who should have been retired 4 years ago in baseball just signed a 4-year, $92 million contract. I'm like, my God, I should just learn how to hit a little white ball with a little round bat, $92 million. But see, what these guys do over here is they create income. They do the work once and they get paid long term. Or they build something and they have an asset like cash or a business that pays them. See, I learned through this opportunity that your net worth is more important than how much money you have in the bank. I learned that banks actually make loans on people's net worth way before they loan how much money you have in the bank. See, my dad always said, save your way to success, put money away, right? Put some money under the mattress. Anybody have a grandma who used to have 35 millimeter film? She would roll up $100 bills and they would stick them into the film container and then hide them around the house. Janelle, film is what used to go in a camera before you had one of these. The little rolly thing, exactly. But what you're trying to accomplish is how much residual or ongoing income can you create long term? You know, my father-in-law asked me a question. He said, Andy, if I took your job away and you couldn't collect unemployment, how much money a month do you have coming in? I was like, nothing. He's like, because you spend your entire life creating income over here. He said, if the key to life, if the key to financial independence or long-term financial stability was to create ongoing income, he said, how come you've never done that? I said, nobody ever taught me that. Nobody explained that concept to me. And so what I'm going to talk about tonight is this kind of type of income. It's going to be long-term. It's going to take time, but it's also going to leverage your time. It's actually designed for busy people as well. So let's kind of jump through this. So here's what our business model looks like. Every business model that's duplicatable has three components. It's got an owner. Is what we're talking about tonight, is potentially putting you in business for yourself. We're going to tap you into a training program, and we're going to utilize a supply partnership, okay? And when we put those three things together, you've got a very simple business concept. And so our training program is an organization called Leadership Team Development. What these guys do is they coach, teach, train, and mentor people kind of like you and I how to create income, how to own a business. They take care of a lot of the back office stuff. Like, you know, I didn't know how to handle my finances. I didn't know how to carry a calendar. I didn't understand time management. I didn't understand how to communicate effectively. I didn't know how to hold a microphone and connect with the room. I didn't know a lot of things. And so for me, what I needed was to get tapped into an educational system. So through some books, through some audios and podcasts, through some trainings, I was able to learn how to become a better communicator, a better business person, just a better overall human being. And so if it wasn't for leadership team development and what they bring to the table, I wouldn't have what I have, because here's what my father-in-law said. He said, if you chase money, you're never going to catch it. But if you learn how to think, money will be brought to you. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, you got to learn how money's made. It's not just selling your time. There's a whole different way. And so some of the concepts these guys taught me was the idea of lifestyle. It's to have time and money, right? I only thought you either had time or you had money. You couldn't have both. And so for me, the concept of lifestyle was so abstract. I thought money was based on, I thought being rich was based on how much you make. And my father-in-law said, Andy, it's not how much you make, it's how you make it. And what he was talking about, he said, do you want to make $400,000 or $500,000 actively with a lot of stress, with a lot of pressure, with a lot of taxes, with a lot of everything? Or would you rather make maybe $200,000 residually, passively, ongoingly, put like through dividends, through investments, through whatever? And he said, because this is going to come with a lot of headache and risk, this is going to be more, you're free. You can do what you want with your time. And he said, so what lifestyle is having the ability to have time and money. He also told me that wealth was not measured in dollars. It was measured in time. Let me ask you guys a couple questions. If you had an extra, say, just even $10,000 a month, that's like $100,000 a year, on the side coming into your current household situation, would things be a little bit different? Would anybody decide hypothetically to call in to work tomorrow? So what would you do then with your time? What would you do? Would you spend time with your parents? Would you spend time with your kids? Would you spend time with people that you didn't have to spend time with today? Does that make sense? See, what he was telling me was, he said, Andy, if you have enough ongoing income, then you control your time, and your time is really what you're trying to control. Because how many people hate being told what to do? How many people hate the alarm clock? I was watching a movie the other day, and they had the iPhone alarm, the one that goes off on everybody's phone. I had flashbacks. I tripped into PTSD. Like, who invented the alarm clock? That's like a heart attack waiting to happen. Anybody ever heard the alarm clock and you totally forgot what day it is, where you're at, what time, what do I have to do? And it was like Monday. And you were so like, see, who would like to just sleep until their eyes are done? You didn't have to go to work tomorrow. Who's getting up early and going for a workout? Some workout people in here. How many people are then going to how many people are going to get up around the crack of noon? How many people are getting up like mid-afternoon? 2, 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon. If I'm up by dinner, we're good to go. Because you're up all night doing something like watching movies or cat videos on YouTube or something. How many people would just like to take like a 45-minute nap each day? About 2 o'clock. Just close your eyes, relax. How many people would love to get out of here right now with another winter storm supposedly coming on Friday? Go to Florida? Did you see they got record heat coming into Florida this week? The temperatures in Florida are going to be 88 to 92 degrees. Like, I'm like, that's good enough for me to go, like, right now. I asked my wife to look up plane flights, and she's like, yeah, they're like $600 per person. I'm like, crap, but we got 6 kids. There's 6 people. Can you and I go and we pawn the kids off on somebody? But who would go? How long would you go for? Right. Because you control your time. See, here's what money really is. It's options. But it's not how much money you make. See, that's the problem. That was what I didn't understand was I've shown this opportunity to people who make a lot of money in the corporate world. And some of them get it, but a lot of them don't because they think they're already doing well. But what they don't realize is they got to go to work tomorrow, and then they got to go to work on Wednesday or Thursday. Then they got to go to work on Friday. Some of them are gonna be really excited because Monday's a holiday because it's President's Day or Columbus Day or Martin Luther King Day. It's a day. I mean, they changed the holiday. We used to get Kazimir Pulaski Day off in Illinois. I don't even know who that guy is, but he did something where I got a day off, so I liked him. What? Amen. Because it's Jacob's birthday. It's more valuable than the other one. I don't even know who Kazimir Pulaski is. I guess he fought in the war. So my point is, those people have to keep going back and back and back to create. Where if you had ongoing income, you don't have to. The other thing they taught me was the concept of mentorship. You know, I didn't have anybody in my life who I ever really listened to. Anybody play sports? How many people still stay in touch with their basketball, football, baseball coach on an ongoing basis? 1 or 2 of you? Now, are they mentoring you today in your finances, in your life, in your relationships? Are they helping you become better human beings? Are they making book recommendations? Do they understand kind of your nuances, what you're good at, what you're not good at, trying to fill you in? See, I played collegiate sports, and I don't have any of those guys. Well, one of them passed away, not too distant past. But the other gentleman, I never even heard from him from the day I graduated college. But I was highly recruited. I was heavily wanted. I was the man for that guy for 4 years. I haven't heard from him in 24 years. See, here's why I say that. Because I think a lot of times people think mentorship is somebody helping you. And that's not what mentorship, in my opinion, is all. What mentorship to me is having somebody that I trust have a third-party independent perspective into my life. That's why people say, like, oh, I'm in a mentorship program at my job. My boss mentors me. No, your boss is just going to train you up to get you to do more for less money so he can do less and have more time off. Does that make sense? See, to me, my boss at work never once asked me. I worked for the same company for 14 years. The guy never once asked me on any particular day, how's your wife today? How's Maureen? I don't even know if he could name all 4 of my kids' names. Does that make sense? Like, can your boss? Does your boss know exactly how your wife's doing, what's going on? See here, first of all, I don't want that guy to know anything about my life. But if he was a mentor, he would have taken an interest. Does that make sense? And see, here's what John did, and now what my friend Larry does for us is he's just a third-party independent perspective. I can bounce ideas off him. I can run things by him. He's available 24/7. I can shoot him a text, shoot him a call. Just, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm doing. Hey, I'm looking to spend this type of money on this type of thing. Am I making a good decision or a bad decision? How do you see it? Because if my mentor today is making $5-6 million, he was a $6 an hour car wash manager 30 years ago, he learned a few things. Does that make sense? And I want to know what he knows. I want to make sure I don't make maybe the same mistakes he made, because there's only two ways to learn in life. They're your experiences or experiences of others. Like, people would rather learn from somebody else's mistakes. Heck yeah, especially if they're willing to tell you. The next thing these guys taught me was you got to have fun. You got to laugh at yourself. You got to laugh out loud. You got to LOL. Right? You got to be able to have some fun. What if time and money were no object? What are some things people would like to do? What would you do tomorrow? If you didn't have to go back to work for the next 6 months, what are you going to do? Anyone? What would you do? A personal trainer, tennis coach? And play again? And Ryan doesn't count as the coach? No. What were you going to say? Down with Julie? Play tennis? Go camping in every state. Now in a tent or in like a 35-foot RV bouncer with a John Madden cruiser? Right. Exactly. Live off the land. Amen. How about you, Derek? What were you going to say? Big fishing trip. A buddy of mine did a catamaran. And so they did it for 10 days. The first 5 days, they had like a captain on the catamaran. He took them around, and they slept in the hulls on the catamaran with the big net. And he showed them where to go, how to do it, spent 5 days with them. Well, he got off, and the last 4 days, they went by themselves. How cool would that be? You're just going through the ocean. You got a little power motor behind you. Otherwise, you're just going with the wind, and you're learning how to navigate to the Bermuda Triangle. You know what I mean? That'd be awesome. Who would go on a catamaran trip like that? You just bounce around island to island. You find different places like try a burger for $28. You can fly a plane. I mean, people would take pilot lessons, lessons, right? All-Star Weekend. Actually, we just looked that up. Did you know how much it costs to go? That's to get into the 400 level. Like, you're in standing room only. $7,000 to sit in the 200 section of the NBA All-Star game. Because it's here in Chicago, and the Bulls won't have one. Not at all. You know, but the Super Bowl's coming up. How many Packer fans again? Would you go? It's in Miami. They got Super Bowl packages I just looked up the other day per person for hotel, airfare, tickets, post-party, like Super Bowl party, and a party like the night before the Super Bowl, so you go down on Saturday, $11,500 a person. I'm like, that's better. That's a better deal than the All-Star game. Right, for $11,500 a person plus tax. So that makes it like $280,000 if you live in Illinois. There's my Illinois. But like, what's holding you back from going to something like that? The time and the money, right? And then lastly, let me ask you: if you had money and you had time, would you donate? Would you volunteer? Would you give charities, ministries, organizations? Derek's wife, Lainey, just went down to Mercy Ministry this week and got like a full tour and stuff. Like, leadership team development has given those guys almost $20 million over the last 10 years in just charitable donations. And it's like what kind of impact could we really make? You know what I mean? And so this is kind of what we're talking about. We're looking for people who have a heart. This can't just be about you and what you want, but literally changing lives. So that's the training program. Here's what we do. You know, I'm going to take about 15 minutes to wrap this up pretty quick, but here's what we do. We build networks of people, and we drive business online. Let me ask you a question. How many people in here believe the internet's getting bigger? How many people believe more people are buying online today than ever before? How many people believe that's going to continue on as far as you can imagine? 20 years, 30 years, whatever. So if we believe that, then what we do is we just take the networks of people that we currently know and have in place, we just drive them online. Because if they're already going there, and they're going there more and more often, then what we're doing is very, very normal. Now, we've got two parts to what we do. We've got some partnerships. We've got some big name retailers that we have partnerships with. There's about 150 of them, from Apple to Nike to Neiman Marcus to Macy's to Disney to Under Armour to Cabela's and Bloomingdale's and Express and all kinds of companies. And so what we do for these guys is we help take existing business out of their storefronts and move it online. Because whenever you do that, these guys make more profit online than they do inline at the stores. And so all we're doing, I heard a guy say this one time, he said, we're just going from brick and mortar to click and order. That's it. That's all we do. Instead of going to Best Buy, now we just pull out our phone app, go to the Best Buy app, and go to bestbuy.com. And we buy the same stuff, and then we just go pick it up. But Best Buy doesn't have to deal with all the 16-year-old pimply kids trying to sell me a cell phone and worry about the security measures and all, because they're gonna ship it to me direct from their warehouse, not their retail store, right? Then we also work with a massive company that manufactures a lot of different brands. These brands are all consumable. These brands are like Nutrilite. It's the largest vitamin supplement brand in the world. It's been around over 85 years. Does $5 billion in revenues. That's more than GNC and the Vitamin Shop combined. We work. Today they do over $500 million in energy drink sales, and they're about an $800 million a year energy, like sports nutrition line. I mean, it's huge. It's the second largest selling energy drink company in the world. But you've never heard of it because it's not in gas stations or grocery stores. It's only available online. And so we work with Artistry. It's one of the top 5 skincare brands in the world with Lancome, Shiseido, Estee Lauder, Clinique, and Artistry. It's been around since 1968. It's $1 billion company, but you can only get it online. And so what does all that mean? It means because there's no overhead. There's really no advertising costs. The costs of sales are very, very small. The cost of goods are small. What we do is we just get rid of these middlemen and we become the distributor. Now, I don't have any inventory. I don't have to pre-buy it. It's all drop ship out of warehouses and distribution centers around the world. What we do is we organize the networks and drive them online. Making sense? And for all those companies, they love what we do because when they do more business, they're more profitable. The more business we bring them, the more money they pay us. That's the whole idea. That's it. Okay? So the parent company, the company that kind of organizes all this, is a company called Amway. Amway's been around since 1959. You may have heard of them in the past. Back in the day, they were a door-to-door soap company. When my father-in-law and mother-in-law got started with their Amway business back in 1987, they had a lot of like catalog sales and hustle your family and friends. We don't really do a lot of that stuff today. I'll explain that here in a second. But just some of the stats, they paid out over $61 billion in bonuses and incentives to people like you and me. They do about $1 million an hour, every hour, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, about $9 billion a year. They employ over 16,000 people. So what's cool is I'm not an employee. Those guys handle all the product development. They handle the the inventions, the distribution, the accounting, the customer service. I don't have to handle any of that stuff. All I do is I build networks of people and I drive them online. And these guys do all the heavy lifting. They're the 42nd largest privately held company in the world. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Great company, great partnership. But I don't work for them, right? What I do is I work for myself. And again, what we're talking about here is potentially putting you in business for yourself, tapping into LTD and the Amway. Now, you're going to be in business for yourself, but you're going to have a program, a team, a mentorship aspect to what we're doing. Okay, but Amway owns a lot of the biggest piece of the pie, meaning they own the manufacturing rights to those products and they own the compensation plan. So they're a very important partner to us as well. So to get your business started, because it is a business, we talked about that hopefully the first time we met, costs about $220. It's not a big deal. $62 of it gets you started with Amway. $35 would get you started with LTD, and then we'd get you an optional product kit. Right? It's pretty simple. You get everything you need to run a business, from an online website to online mobile apps to a bunch of business support materials to an education platform. It's literally like business in a box. You know, so many people. I think the best part about Amway is that it's $220. The worst part about Amway is it's only $220. People don't treat it like it's a multi-million-dollar opportunity, and so I sometimes wish they charge a lot more. But anyways, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can control your time, and like I said, there's a mentorship process. So here's how this works. Back in the day, network marketing, especially through Amway, was more about selling and recruiting. I don't believe that that's going to work for the millennials. I don't think that's going to work for the next generation. So what we believe in is more along the lines of developing people through mentorship and leadership. And when you have really good people and people are committed and connected, then what you have is great business partners. And when you have great business partners, people will do more business because they want to do business, not that they're being pressured to do something. And so that's how we approach this whole thing. So how do we make money? Well, I'm going to show you real quick a $40,000 to $60,000 a year income. That's about a $1 million to a $1.2 million asset that you would be developing on the side of your job. It's going to take about 12 to 18 to 24 months, and it's going to take about 6 to 10 hours a week. Here's the tip, though, consistently. It's not an hour a day and 6 months later, a couple hours. It's got to be literally like every day a little bit. You know, my father-in-law said the elevator success is broken. You got to take the stairs. It's just one day, one step, 1 hour at a time. And when you do a little bit over a long period of time, over a couple years, you got some pretty massive results. And that's what we're talking about here. So here's what we do. When I got started in business back in October of 2008, my father-in-law said, Andy, if you want to make a change in your life, you got to be willing to make a change in your life. That's it. He said, I need you to change the brands in which you use. So, well, what do you mean? He said, Andy, what kind of toothpaste do you use? I said, Colgate. He said, you need to transition. If you want to make money, it's like, I'm not telling you have to do anything. But if you want this to work, you've got to transition to Glister. He said, what kind of deodorant do you use? I said, Degree. He said, you're going to want to use the Body Series. He said, what kind of laundry detergent do you use? I said, Cheer. He said, you're going to want to use the Legacy of Clean. He said, all we're going to do is change the brands. That's it. Now, let me ask you guys something. How many people in here, if you have to choose one or the other, how many people in here are like Coca-Cola products? Pepsi-Cola products? How many people for $5,000 a month are going to drink the RC? So your loyalty can be bought. Does that make sense? He said that's what Amway does, is they're buying your loyalty not one time, but for the rest of your life. And so that's what we do is I just took my money and I started shopping from my own store. But my own store didn't have the same brands that Walmart had. So I needed to change my personal care brands, my home care brands, my health care brands. Here's what my father said. Father-in-law said, he said, give me 3 rooms of your home and I'll teach you how to become a multimillionaire over time. He said, give me your kitchen, give me your laundry room, and give me your bathroom. And he said, if you can become loyal to your own business and your own products through your own business in those 3 rooms, and you teach other people to do the same thing, he said, you will be very, very, very wealthy long term. He said, it's that simple. I said, well, if it's that simple, how come everybody doesn't do it? He said, because not everybody is courageous. Meaning, not a lot of people like to step outside the norm. He said, Andy, if 90% of Americans work for 10% of the money, the 10% of the people that control 90% of the money know a little bit different. He said, at some point in your life, you got to draw a line down the middle and decide, are you going to be a 90%er and just take the safe, secure route, or are you going to be a 10% and do something different than everybody else? I always like being different. I did. I didn't necessarily want to do what everybody was doing. I wanted to do something a little bit different. And he said, that's what it is. That's why not everybody does this, because not everybody wants to stretch themselves. Not everybody wants to change. Not everybody wants to learn. Not everybody wants to think differently. Now, they all want the money, but when the money doesn't come easy, or they realize it's going to take work, extra work, then they back away from it, right? And so here's what we do. All we did was we transitioned our buying habits. Over here on the right, you've got a bonus chart. $3 equals a point, starts at 100 points, goes to 7,500 points. Bottom of the bonus chart is $300 a month in volume going through your business. Top of the bonus chart is $22,500 a month going through your business. We create volume in 3 ways. Number 1, we're going to ask you to transition your buying habits. That's it. The Federal Trade Commission says an average single person who lives on their own and doesn't steal from their parents spends about $300 a month on stuff. Couples are usually closer to 5 to 6. Families can be upwards of 1,000 to 1,200 depending on how many little chitlins they got. Okay? So, would you agree that everybody in your network buys shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste, skincare, makeup, laundry, detergent? So all we're going to do is we're going to transition our buying habits, and then we're going to develop a small customer base because everybody uses what we have. So there's no, I'm not trying to sell a candle or a container or like, you know, something that people, a wrap to lose weight. Right? I'm not trying to sell something to somebody. All I'm going to do is I build networks of people and I transition their buying habits. Some people don't want to be entrepreneurs, but some people would just love to support me because I'm their favorite son, grandson, nephew, brother. Does that make sense? And so I said to my mom, I said, Mom, would you be willing to support me? She's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm starting a business. She's like, well, what kind of business? I'm like, I don't know. I got stuff. She's like, well, what kind of stuff? I said, just stuff that you use. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I said, John, what do? He said, put together a sample bag, give her a bunch of samples, let her try and see what she thinks. She bought some laundry detergent, she bought some shampoo, it was like $25. I thought I was going to be the richest man in the world because somebody bought something from me. And I didn't have to force it on her. I didn't have to convince her of all the benefits and features. Here's what I said. I said, Mom, if you buy that shampoo and deodorant for me, that profit goes in my pocket, not Walmart's. That profit takes care of your kids and your grandkids. If you buy that stuff at Walmart, it's not going to take care of your kids and grandkids. You know what she did? She started buying from her own son. And for the last 11 plus years, she buys from her favorite son. I have a brother. Her favorite son every single month. That's how you develop a small customer. I am not trying to sell people anything. See, I think in other businesses and other ideas, you got to go around and convince people why this product has a feature or benefit that they don't understand, and you have to convince them. Here's what I said. You're already buying this stuff, just buy it for me. And I'll treat you right. That's it. And my mom said, I can't do that. And then, you know what she did? She told her best friend. And her best friend started buying from me. I never even told her best friend what to do. I never even gave her a sample. See, once it starts happening, it starts to expand out. And see, that's the third component to the business, is we start to network with people. You know, I had to talk to a few people. I met a girl at my office once. Her name was Karina. She was reading a magazine about catering. I said, are you into catering? I mean, it's a really radical concept. I read in a book one time, if I was to start a conversation, state the obvious. She was reading a catering magazine. I said, are you into catering? She said, no, not really, but I've always wanted to own my own business. It's like, really? I said, do you care what kind of business it is? She's like, no, not really. So I shared an opportunity with her. She got started. She bought her own stuff. She was really excited. I said, do you know anybody else? She let me know a guy by the name of Rob. Rob was a kind of a crazy man, just got back from the Marine Corps. But Rob and his wife, Karina, started buying stuff. They led me to a guy by the name of Victor. I don't even know how they knew Victor, but Victor was a good guy. Victor loves the multivitamin Double X, doesn't he, Jake? It's what he loves. I think he chews on it like candy. But he led me to a great couple named Jacob and Aurelie one day. And Jacob and Areli led me to people like Marcus and Janelle. And Marcus led me to some good people like Cody and his brother Tyler. And all of a sudden, I didn't know any of these people. And here's what happened. People know people, know people, know people, know people, know people. Does that make sense? And see, what I had to do was just simply let people know that I had something of value. And if they were interested at this time, I could help them create some extra income. But if they weren't, I was cool with that too. And if people wanted to get started and see how it went, and then maybe it wasn't for them, God bless those people too. But people know people. And then when you realize that it's not about you, you can start working your way up the bonus chart. Because, see, today, Jacob and Areli do at least 150 to 300 points every month. I met a couple one time at my wife's 10-year reunion. Their name was Dan and Jen. They led me to a couple by the name of Sean and Sarah. Sean's in the back of the room running the sound table for me. Sean and Sarah do about 100 to 200 points every single month. You know, I was working at my office one day, and this young 19-year-old kid comes in and puts his arm on my door frame. He's like, "Hey, you got a minute?" I said, "Sure." He's like, "Do you think you could help me with a couple of things?" I said, "Sure." He's like, "What do you do outside of here? Because you're different than everybody else." That young man's Tom and his wife Alex sitting right here. And every month they do 150 to 300 points, and I could go around and around. Does that make sense? I met a guy one time at a bank named Adam who led me to a guy by the name of Brian. Brian led me to a really sharp couple. Hit Brian's sister, Melissa. She's working the table outside. They do 400 or 500 points every single month. And see, here's my point. There's people out there that want more out of life. You're not the last one. And when people know people who know more people, what you're doing is you're just building a bigger and bigger pipeline. I don't get incentivized to get people started. In fact, it costs me more money than it'll ever cost you to get started. I've got to drive the miles. I got to put gas in my car. I got to take time away from my son's basketball game tonight to help that newest person get up and running. Because if I'm going to commit to helping you accomplish whatever you wrote down at the beginning of the meeting, your why, then I've got to uphold my end of the bargain too. This isn't about what you do. It's about what can we do together. And so in this scenario, you've got about 75 to 80 people on your team. Everybody's doing a little bit. This isn't about anything magical. You're running about 11,000 points. It's about $30,000 a month in volume. And we will pay you between $35,000 and $4,000 a month every single month. My wife and I did that back in July of 2009. That was 10 plus years ago. August, October, November, December, January. That was actually 10 and a half years ago. That's 126 consecutive months of making no less than $4,000 a month. I'm not a big deal. I'm not even that awesome. Here's what I did, is I took a program and I spent time learning it, and then I applied it, and now we have an ongoing income. That $4,000 a month, we started paying off our student loan debt. We started paying off our credit card bills. We started paying off our truck payment. We then took the money and we put our kids in the private schools. I never quit my job. I kept working every day. Was I tired? Yeah, my boss made fun of me. He's like, "You're burning the candle at both ends there, Andy." Yeah, and I won't be here for a whole lot longer, trust me. Because I didn't want to be at work every day for the rest of my life. Does that make sense? I'm okay burning both ends of the candle. I just didn't want to work 40 years and end up with nothing to show for it. That's just where I was at. So I know, Jake, you guys got to what, about 4,000 points in September. You guys will probably be over that again this month. You'll be 7,500 points by March. We have a couple down in Bloomington, Matt and Rachel. They went over 7,500 points in March. They've gone over 6,000 the last couple months. They'll probably be back over 7,500 points. February, probably next month, if not this, I don't know. I mean, they're so close, they can just like sneeze and push themselves just over the edge a little bit. Like, it's just cool because here's what's cool is now our friends are starting to make money. And you know how much better it is of a feeling knowing that you had just a little bit of help to one of your friends so they could start to manifest their own dreams? I don't know, man. I don't know how many people are going to come knock at your door and offer you an opportunity to help you? But see, that's what my father-in-law did, was he helped me. Larry and Pam have helped me. Now, did they do the physical work for me? Absolutely not. Did they do mental work for me? Absolutely 100%. Right? When you do that, you get some bonuses and incentives. There's some trips involved. Disney. I mean, the Amway Corporation is super first class. They take care of everything. They spend over $3 million to shut down some of the parks like Universal Studios. And they clear it out for us. And there's only like 4,000 Amway IBOs that go that qualify. And these parks hold 80, 90,000 people. Like, everything's free. You have no idea how many churros I can eat. Churros are like manna from heaven. Especially fresh, hot churros. Those big chicken legs, those like turkey legs that are like this big. You can just take the good 3 bites, because those things are nasty after about 3 bites. Go back and get another one. Ben and Jerry's ice cream. It's all free. I love it. Anybody like to eat? I'm a good eater. Just not for the next 27 days. Then I'm going to start eating it. You can create more. This is kind of where our business has been the last couple of years. A level called Ruby. Amway threw in some extra bonuses back in 2016 to incentivize us to do more. It's awesome. Phase 2, 2 to 5 year business plan. This is where we go and we help other people. This is what I told Jacob I would help him with a couple of years ago when we first got started. I said, Jake, I'll help you make that type of income, but I'm going to get out of it as a 6% residual from the Amway Corporation. That 6% is willable, transferable, and inheritable. And I said, is it cool if I help you make $50,000, $60,000 a year? He said, yeah, I'm good with that. I said, awesome. I just want that 6% check, so I'll go to work for you. I'll be more committed to your business for a while than you probably will be. So you're cool with that? He's like, I think so. Don't know why you. I said, it's 6%. He's like, I don't understand that 6% yet, but I will one day. I said, you absolutely will. Because that's the whole reason why I do. Because if I want to take care of my family, I need things that will be left beyond me. And what I'm trying to do is become a 6% collector. Does that make sense? So I'm willing to help people. You help 3 people in your lifetime. There's no time limit. You don't have to do it in 2 to 5 years. Typically, it took us about 35 months to get to that point. Average income as a what they call an emerald business, about $191,000. Want to make more? Help 6 people in a lifetime. It's about $550,000. A couple friends of ours, Derek and Jill Kosak, Derek and Robin Kruger, Mark and Meredith Nathan. They're all here in the Chicago area. They're all in their mid-30s. They've all accomplished that goal or finishing it up right now. I love these people. I love when my friends win because, man, it builds my belief. Because if one person can do it, then anybody can do it. Anybody feel that you can do half of whatever anybody else does? That's how I feel in life. I don't have to be the best at anything. I just have to be half as good as you at whatever you do. And I think I can figure that much out. Does that make sense? And so if you want to make more, you can make more. It's totally up to you. So I'm basically wrapped up. Here's the thing. Be careful who you listen to. Either you're going to listen tonight to an entrepreneur, that would be myself, or you're going to go home tonight and you're going to Google something, you're going to try to talk to your family and friends, you're going to try to figure this thing out on your own. I don't think employees have the right to give advice on a business, especially a business they've never even built themselves. They haven't spent 8, 9, 10, 12 years of their life pouring themselves into. You know, I have a buddy, he does this concussion thing. He's like a neurovisual scientist type of guy. The guy is wicked smart. I love hanging around him because I learned so much about stuff I don't know about. When I looked at him one day, his name's Kevin, I said, Kevin, you definitely have a life's work. He's like, you're right, this is my life's work. He's probably put 15 years since about 2004 of everything he's got into his life's work. You know how much money he's made in it? Not a lot, maybe $400,000 or $500,000 total over 20 years, but he's on the cusp because it's his life's work. See, that's what entrepreneurs are. And so an employee would have told them years ago, give up on that. That's never going to happen. You're not going to make it. It's not safe and secure. So be careful who you listen to. Are you listening to one of the 90%ers or one of the 10%ers? And so if this is for you, that's Larry and Pam. That's our mentors today. They're some of the most amazing people. If this is for you, here's what I want you to do. I want you to let the person know who invited you out or allowed you on the webcast. Set up a time. We're going to spend about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes together. This is a chance for you to start asking some questions. We're going to give you a downloadable app. It's going to be a credibility app. It'll have more info about Amway, LTD, price comparisons, all this type of stuff. There's success stories. There's all types of info on there. We're also going to give you a couple audios if you want the information. And then what we want you to do is study that for another hour or two, and then we'll meet up maybe the next 24 to 48 hours, maybe 72 hours max, and go through some questions with you. At that point, I think we'll have a pretty good idea if you're who we're looking for and if we have what you're looking for. Does that make sense? So I'm done. I'm all wrapped up. Business owners, we'll get back together in here in about 10 minutes for some additional training. And God bless you. We'll see you.